a lot of their findings there regarding second century stuff, such as Clement. And he says that Clement absolutely did not write First Clement. Now, he believes that Clement was somebody who existed in the first century. I don't necessarily agree with that, but I'm not necessarily opposed to it per se. It's just, it's whatever. But I would agree that First Clement is not either not written by Clement, or it is written by Clement, and it's in the middle of the second century. And the reason why M. David Litva, Dr. Litva, says that it's written, it can't be written by Clement, is because he believes Clement is a first century figure, but the text itself shows up in about the 150s or later, which is where I date it and where my co-author dates it. And we talk about it in Christ Before Jesus. You can check out our book on the topic if you want. The ebook is just $3. There is a print version like this. There is an audiobook version as well, available on Audible. The link is in the bio here on TikTok or on the YouTube profile. Again, the ebook is just $3. It's not going to break the bank or anything like that, but it does go over a lot of this stuff, including the Clement stuff. Really fast, let's see. We got $2, a super chat there from a Lope Nope that says, I misqueefed it. Hella long ago. 20 times today. You guys are on something else. All right. Opinions don't matter. Yeah, the evidence specifically shows that the letter of First Clement is like a composite letter showing up with things from about 140s to 150s. Opinions don't matter. The evidence shows that it's from the 150s. Not to mention, he personally believes that Clement was a person that existed in the first century. Again, I don't really mind it per se. It doesn't really matter. But as far as the actual dating for the text goes, the evidence shows that it's in the middle of the second century. I care about the evidence. I don't care about like just someone's opinion. And the dating of it to 90 is absolutely just opinion. Because just alluding to some possible bad stuff that happened does not automatically mean that it's a specific bad thing in the 90s. That's dumb as shit. Scholars are often like between the first Clement dating of 90 and the idea that there's there's the idea that there's scholars out there that date like the first Corinthian 15 thing, the Corinthian Creed to like a few years after Jesus' death. That shows just how absolutely dishonest scholars actually are. And they're wanting to push for things that are absolutely pulled out of their ass. It's really bad. Scholarship can be very, very stupid sometimes. They look at First Clement and they go, recent tragedies that have befallen us must mean Emperor Domitian's punishment of the Christians in the 90s. That's ridiculous. You just pulled that out of thin air. But then they take a look at the 1 Corinthians 15 creed and they go, Paul is preaching something and he says he got it from someone. That must have been something that we can date between or in the first like 5 to 6 years of like Jesus' death. Where are you getting that? Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it's just like I guess it's just a guess. And it's really sad, I guess, whenever you kind of... Personally, I believe that it's sad. Whenever you peel back the... It is sad, objectively. Whenever you peel back the curtain and you see that these scholars who you looked up to are just kind of saying things because of particular motivations. Bart Ehrman says that 1 Corinthians Creed is only really dated to that time period because of evangelicals. But if you look it up online, if you look it up on just like Wikipedia, it will tell you that the majority of scholars believe this. That's because the majority of scholars are religious. So the majority of scholars are going to form a consensus that is saying something that Bart Ehrman goes, I don't know how they even did it. They just kind of did it. It's an apologetics talking point. He is literally admitting that whenever you go online and read something, it says the majority of scholars or the consensus is that can just straight up be an apologetic. That's what that means. Dan McClellan a couple of weeks ago said that scholars many times will sign a document that says that the religious institution or whatever institution is paying them, they are going to be saying, hey, I'm not going to speak out against what you said, or I'm not going to speak out against what you want me to believe or talk about. And that's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It's sad, really. It's sad. Yeah. If you have any evidence for Jesus or Paul, come on up. Want to hear from you. Let's see. There's somebody in the chat that's saying a whole bunch of stuff. Hey, Gen Xer, how's it going? We all want to hear from you. I'm not really sure what that means. What does that mean? It's illegal to date First Clement later than 110 in Mississippi. I don't even know what that means. All right, if you've got any evidence for Jesus or Paul, or if you're over on YouTube, request up. The link is in the chat, or you can send a super chat and I'll respond to it. I'll read it out loud and respond to it. That's the best part, is the reading out loud. We've got someone here. Slender Films sent $4.99 that said, yo, Muslim Lantern, I guess it's a YouTuber or something, or TikTok or something, is going live in 10 minutes. He can prove you wrong in minutes. LOL, if you're serious, of course. Didn't spell your correctly. I don't know what that means. Why do I care about Muslim Lantern? I don't know who that is.
It's illegal for you to ask me that.
Now, this claim is absolutely ridiculous. The idea that a Muslim guy would, was going live in 10 minutes, he can prove you wrong in minutes. Okay. Prove me wrong on what? On what? Just Jesus existing? You think a Muslim guy is going to somehow give evidence to Jesus? What is he going to point to that isn't either from a Christian or from somebody who very clearly lines up with Christian texts who mentions that Jesus was crucified? What would he possibly point to? Or just the Quran in general? Okay. when Muslims come up, and every once in a while, obviously they come up, but whenever they show up and they're like, oh, hey, I know Jesus existed because I'm a Muslim, but I disagree with the New Testament or whatever. Say, okay, well, I'm very clearly not going to use the New Testament stories to talk about it, but you do realize that that's worse, right? You do understand that, right? Because what you're saying is not only did Jesus exist, pretty much what the Gospels say, but that he wasn't crucified. Okay, well, where are you getting the idea that he wasn't? Where are you getting that? I mean, at best, you're going to have to point to some Docetist view or something in the middle of the 2nd century. It's silly. It's silly. PCAM24 says, can you prove Jesus didn't resurrect? He didn't exist, so it doesn't matter. All right, well, We're not getting anybody coming up, give me evidence for Jesus or Paul. That's not too terribly great, guys. They're not sending their best. We got rude, exactly. Very correct. Problem Child says, block me for a comment? You're not blocked. What are you talking about? It's really funny whenever people like message me and they're like, hey, your mods blocked me. I'm like, no, they didn't. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to send your message. Thank you, Soy Boy. Wait, Joy Toy. Aaron says, everyone is scared of that big, bad Texas man. Yeah, sorry. That's how that goes. Yeah! $1.99 says, find out LOL if you're curious. I'm not. There's a 0% chance that a Muslim person, just like any other Mormon person, because Islam is just desert Mormonism, there's a 0% chance that they're going to be able to prove that Jesus existed, because they can't even agree with what the Christians say, and that's where they get their information. It's not going to happen. Toasty! But Slender Films, if you want to come up and give me the evidence that you think that this person's going to provide, then we can have a conversation about it. That's perfectly fine. Otherwise, I don't know what to tell you. I'm pretty sure that's a Lope note. I'm back, baby. Do it for our entertainment. Pretty sure that's a Lope note. I need more entertainment. Yeah, that's definitely a Lope note. Ash, lore unlocked. My mom actually had 2 Johns. Ash, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm not sure I want to. Atheist Aja says, you're hot. Really? Whew. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's actually not too hot in here. I'm humbled. No, we just know who you are. Put the hat back on. It's on, Saint Brianna. It's on. All right. If you're on YouTube and you want to come up and give evidence for Jesus or Paul, you definitely can. We got someone who's requesting up there. Am I going to be able to show my research to you later? Possibly. What's going on? Kanira, I think?
You just call me Con.
Con, what you got?
All right, brother. So I've been following your stream for quite some time.
Come on, thank you. Go ahead. Oh, he's off the app or something. Got a call or something. I have no idea. Oh, he's back.
I'm sorry. I guess I can't do multiple.
Yeah, you can hear me whenever you're
time.
off the app, but I can't hear you.
So your belief is, or your study is linguistics, historical linguistics, or you prove that somebody is not writing something just because of what is said or how it's translated.
Kinda and no.
So then define
How it's translated? No. Not
well, then define it
and
to
how
me,
how it's written,
because it wasn't
or how
written
it's
in
said,
English.
kinda.
It wasn't written in English, right? So
Right,
you're
that's why
using
we run
AI to.
No.
So then, what is it? Because I haven't read your book. So
Why are you making claims about what we say?
well, that's why I'm asking you.
Okay. Sounds more like you're just kind of asking, like, for the purpose of trying to, like, find some kind of weird thing that we do instead of just saying, what do you do? So we use distance formulas on the Greek New Testament, the oldest codices that we have, like Codex Sinaiticus and Codex Vaticanus. We do not use the translations. That wouldn't make any sense.
Right. So when it comes to the letters of Tacitus and Josephus, like, what is the context that you're using them?
We don't use the letters of Tacitus or Josephus. At best, we use Annals, Book 15, Chapter 44, or Josephus's Antiquities of the Jews. Whenever we take a look at like authenticity claims, that kind of stuff.
So then you're using a point of origin that you don't even know that is necessarily accurate.
I'm going to keep it real with you, Chief. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I really don't.
Because you're saying that your logic is coming from one point of context, and you're using that context as 100% accurate.
Yeah, those words are definitely words, but I've never heard them in that order before.
So when they mention Jesus,
who? Tacitus and Josephus?
Tacitus, Josephus.
Okay.
There's several others. There's, what is his name? Palacius of Sadara. I don't even remember. He mocks Jesus.
Palacius of Sadara? Not only is that not a name or a place, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, let me look it up really quickly. Hold on. And this is why I was like flipping back and forth, but I guess between the apps, it doesn't work that.
Enrique Iglesias.
Lucian of Samosata. He mocks Jesus. He mocks the Christians.
Yeah, he says the Christians, as you know, worship a crucified sage, calls them miserable wretches. And in that same book even says that there is a patricidal con man named Peregrinus Proteus in the early to mid 2nd century who grifts them and writes their books and edits others.
So why would he even go to that extent?
Because he's talking about Peregrinus Proteus. It's a story about him, Peregrinus Proteus. It's like it's like 2 paragraphs maybe in the entire book.
Why would he go to that extent of even mocking Jesus if he didn't even exist?
He doesn't mock Jesus. He mocks the Christians.
And my apologies, because I'm going to have to go back and forth. So let me look at the...
Where? Between this live and your kitchen to get more beer?
I already have my beer.
So. I'm aware. You're slurring like every word, dude.
The Christians you know.
All right. Tracy, formerly Ianto, $1.99 says, did someone get a haircut? Queef. Is it? I don't think that's really... Is that a... Surely that's not something that you do whenever you're excited about something. But also, yes. Yes, I did.
He even goes into mention about the crucifixion.
That's not Jesus. A word, dude.
So why would he go into that extent, into that
Because
detail?
It says that the Christians believe it. It's not mocking Jesus, it's mocking Christians. And again, crucifixion is not a word. There's a Q
What
for
do you
Z
mean?
on Justin's
Like,
life.
what do you mean? What do you mean about that? Like, you're telling me
What
you're
the
telling me
hell
that
is
there's no
even that?
historical evidence because you're using your etymology or whatever it is.
Adonatology.
Because is basically
It's pronounced
a
adonatology.
combination of linguistics.
It's pronounced adonatology.
And you're using it as a point of reference.
Yep.
You use a key text, and you're assuming that that key text is 100% accurate.
Are there any sober people out here who could give an argument for Jesus or Paul's existence? That'd be great. Come in here and help your boy. He's on the carpet. He might even be hugging the porcelain throne right now.
Nah, I'm actually playing Fortnite, but I kind of was getting tired of typing in the chat, so I was like, you know what? Let me just hop on because you didn't have anybody up here. Clearly, your viewership was dying, so I figured that I would help you out here.
Yeah, because what everybody wants to know is what does a guy with a name that sounds pretty feminine have to say through a bunch of modelos about Jesus or Paul or stellometry?
I don't know what my name has to do with being feminine, but okay. Sure, why not?
Bro joined and the views dropped. It kind of did.
I'm pretty sure the views dropped a whole long time ago. So what about Pliny?
What about him?
So what does that tell you? I mean, he mentions Jesus as well.
He does not say the name Jesus at all. I don't think you read the text.
Again, you're just using whatever key context that you want to assume that Jesus is not
Does
mentioned.
he say the name Jesus? Yes or no?
Jesus wasn't even his name.
Okay. Well, does he say any name for the God that the Christians worship, or does he use a title?
By Christ? Is that what you're...
Is that a title or a
implying?
name?
That is a title, but it's
Okay.
key
So does he
text
say a name at all?
reference is to Jesus Christ.
Nope. He doesn't say Jesus at all, does he?
No, he says Christ, which
Okay.
is a title. Yes, you're absolutely right. Christ
Sweet.
is a title.
What was
which
Cyrus the
is
Great known as
historically-
in the Old Testament, in the Septuagint? Was he known as a Christ?
But the key text references...
What was Alexander the Great known as in the Maccabees? In Greek, was he known as a Christ?
Oh my gosh! You see where your like fallacy is?
No,
You're like a circle argument. You're just coming
Is
back
it?
and forth.
that's not what a circular argument is.
Yes, it is because you're just going back and forth. You're just repeating yourself to make yourself accurate.
Again, not a circular argument. All right. Well, thanks for coming up there, buddy. Michael Stellato. What's up?
I'm back. I had a question real quick. I was doing more research and I came across the one with
Give me 1 second. The last time you were up here,
Yeah.
it was something to do with you went to go research it. You came back. Was
look,
it?
it's something different kind of. It's something kind of different, but like it's about the letter the dude wrote to his dad in prison. Did you ever hear about it's like Mara Bar or something like that?
Brush rapping. Yeah. I think. What did you?
Was there anything against that?
Who? He was the one. Oh well. Did you find out more about my religion, by the way?
Yeah, is it the one with about butts? That's what I
cannot
came
lie.
online and saw. Yeah, that's what I saw. I was like, hey, I agree.
All right. Well, another Donatologist, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, We got him.
All right. So, Mara Bar Serapion is talking about the the Bar Kokhba revolt led by Shimon Bar Kokhba in the 140s or the 130s. He's writing in about 140 or so because he talks about how he doesn't say anything about the word Jesus, Christians, or Christ, and he says that right after this wise king was unalived, that the Jewish kingdom was abolished. And the Jews lived in complete dispersion. That would be when Emperor Hadrian banishes them from Judea, and they have to live in the surrounding areas. And he renames Judea to Syria, Palestina.
Did anybody else refer to like themselves as like the wise king during those same times, or like was
Yeah, he
everyone
was
trying to
crowned
get that
king.
kind of same title?
Shimon Bar Kokhba?
Oh,
Yeah, he
wait.
was crowned king. Jesus doesn't even call himself king. Not to mention,
No, now,
this person is very
did he
clearly talking
mention-
about this person as if he's still dead, like the king is still dead. If Shimon Bar Kokhba was familiar with the story in the Bible, I don't know why it doesn't say Jesus, doesn't say the Christians, and says Jews, and doesn't say anything about Christ or anything like that, and also doesn't talk about how Jesus resurrected in the next fucking chapter or in the next fucking paragraph, depending on which book he was reading or could have been reading. So it's pretty clearly talking about Simon Bar Kokhba and the Bar Kokhba revolt in the 130s.
Doesn't he refer to like where the time where it says the top of like where Jesus gets crucified at the top where it says King of the Jews? Doesn't he refer that to them in the in the letter or no?
The Jews and their wise king. Yeah, that's what it is.
I see. I must have misread it. I thought he said King of the Jews, which was used on the top of like that was put on his board and all. Okay.
Well,
right, well-
I mean, yeah, it's still.
I thought
a
that would have
king
been like
kinda concept.
referenced. Wouldn't that still be referenced to like the Jesus though? Like where like
Yeah,
they
well,
put-
I mean, the Jews had plenty of kings. It could be Herod, for all that matter. You know what I mean? Like it's all over the place. But like, that being said, the other context clues there, where he doesn't say anything from the New Testament and doesn't even really mention the religion of Christianity at all, and doesn't mention the resurrection, and of course. Mentions that the Jewish people live in complete dispersion immediately after that, and their kingdom was abolished. That wouldn't make a lot of sense that he's talking about something that happens in 30 if he's at best referring to something that happens in 70 later on. So in other words, he says immediately after the wise king is unalived, the Jews live in complete dispersion and their kingdom was abolished. It says right after that their king was abolished. So like, how is that possible if he's talking about something that happens in 30 and then another 40 years later is when Jerusalem gets sieged? And they also don't live in complete dispersion after 70 either. That would be in the 130s, which would be
cool.
immediately after Bar Kokhba. If this is talking about Bar Kokhba for the wise king, then immediately after that, they are banished from Judea. They lose their kingdom and they live in complete dispersion. It makes a lot of sense that this is Bar Kokhba, and there's no evidence whatsoever other than just saying wise king to connect it to Jesus. That doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Okay, that's not enough like evidence for like because it's like in different times. You said it was like what 30, 40 years later. You said.
Well, yeah. I mean, if the wise king that he's referring to is Jesus, then it would be another 40 years before they live or before their kingdom is abolished, and they wouldn't live in complete dispersion then. So the context clues point to Shimon Bar Kokhba. The only clue that points to Jesus is literally just a wise king, just the phrase "wise king of Jews." I guess that'd be the only thing that connects to Jesus. Everything else connects to, including that, connects to Simon Bar Kokhba.
Cool. All right, that sounds good. I know that sounds like always getting your side of the view. You know, hearing different sides of it. So, thanks, man.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for coming up.
Peace.
Let's see here.
Yo.
Yep, PCAM 24.
Hey, what's up, man? Just kind of wanna, I guess, hear your kind of beliefs on it. Like, do you believe in God in general, or no?
What does that have to do with whether or not Jesus and Paul existed?
I think it has a lot to do with it, but I mean, if you don't want to answer, it's all good.
Well, does
yeah, I mean-
if I change my religion, does that change the past?
No.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter what my religion is,
Yeah.
your religion, or Kevin down the street's religion. It doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter if we believe in God. Doesn't matter if we don't believe in God. Doesn't matter which God or gods. Doesn't matter.
Well,
Either
Well, that's
history
the thing
happened or it
is-
happened. Either it happened or it didn't happen. They either existed or they didn't exist. We either have evidence or we don't.
Right, but if you look at history, right? So I don't know if you believe the prophets existed, Abraham, Moses,
No
King
and no.
David, all those people.
Maybe he's
King
not a
David-
prophet, but maybe there's a slight possibility for
he
David.
is technically a
Slight.
prophet. Okay, well, there's a lot of archaeology that is around those time periods as well, and
Okay.
there's different monuments to this day you can go visit, right? So if we
I don't even
establish
know what you're
that,
talking about. What are you referring to? For those people?
yeah,
No.
for not specifically
No.
those people,
The only
but things
thing
around
that
time period.
the only thing that can remotely come close to a character from the Old Testament and stuff like that would maybe be David, and that is the Tel Den Stele that might say his name, or it's possible that it's just part of a bigger word, like the name of the
Okay,
city.
well, if you really want to get specific, I mean, there's a pillar of salt when
There is not.
Lot's wife looked back.
There is not.
That's still there. Sodom and
It is
Gomorrah, their sulfur balls.
What you're talking
Okay.
about there is from Ron Wyatt, who's been debunked. He's a nurse anesthesiologist, I believe it is, and pseudo archaeologist who went over. He's dead now. He died in like 98 or 99. Went over to the Middle East and found a whole bunch of things over the course of like 3 months. It's ridiculous. That's not it's not real. He's been debunked routinely. He very clearly fake. Also, the
Okay.
sulfur balls and everything like that. We also see them in other places as well. And most notably around like big salt lakes and stuff like that, like around Salt Lake or around the Dead Sea. So yeah, no, in no way,
Okay,
shape, or form
regardless,
is this something that is actual
Jerusalem
proof of the Old
itself-
Testament.
Jerusalem itself is proof,
Of what?
That the Hebrews have been there for thousands of years. That Israel has essentially been there for thousands of years. The old temple, the second temple. There's evidence for all of that.
Okay, why do I give a shit? What does
Because
have
it
to do
all
with Jesus and
correlates. I'm going to bring it full circle.
Paul?
So
Oh, please do.
Jesus basically came preaching against religion, right? So when you talk about religion,
And we
why
don't have
all
any
of a
evidence
sudden-
that Jesus even did that. What's your evidence that he
okay,
came preaching
but
against religion?
let me ask some questions though. Why is it that all of a sudden around the first century, these sayings and these thought process of Jesus came basically against everything that
I don't
the
know what you're
Pharisees were
talking
teaching at the
to.
time.
Give me an example of what you're talking about.
Okay, so the way that the Pharisees kind of had power over the people, the way they kind of took advantage of the people, the way they applied rules, the way they dressed, and the way they prayed in public. These are all things that were done by them, and basically in the Bible, Jesus teaches against that. Go in the dark, pray to your Father who's not seen.
Yeah, this is around the same chapter where Jesus talks about them and says that they like to be called rabbis 40 years before the first rabbi shows up. That's weird.
Well, are you looking at
Matthew 23, yes.
Are you looking at the right language? I mean, I'm
Yep.
sure that he meant teacher or
No. In fact, the Greek literally goes out of its way to use the word rabbi. If it wanted to use the word teacher, it could either use the Aramaic word for teacher, the Hebrew word for teacher, which isn't just rabbi. There's multiple ways
Okay.
that they could actually do that. A rabbi is a specific
Well,
position. In
that
fact,
doesn't
the
throw out-
specific way that they dress and everything like that is because of the fact that it's talking exactly about rabbis, particularly. Also, it could have just used the Greek word for teacher if it was just talking about teachers in general. It doesn't. It goes out of its way in the oldest codices for the New Testament to use the word rabbi 40 years before the first rabbi. So no, it's either at least misquoting Jesus, or at most, it's an anachronism and shows that the story is fictional because it didn't happen.
okay, that doesn't throw out the fact that everything else that he's saying is going against what the Pharisees are preaching at the time.
I don't really care because I don't think he says anything. What's your evidence that he said any of that?
All right, so another example of this is
Give me the evidence that he actually said any of this. Stop giving me
Well,
examples
do
of
you-
things
do
that
you
he
believe in
says
it?
and just tell me how you know that he even existed to say something.
So do you believe that there's oral history
Of what?
of anything?
That's a dumb question. Give me evidence that Jesus actually existed.
There's no dumb questions. Do you
that
believe
was a
that there's
dumb
any
question.
kind of
That
for
was one
any
of them.
myth, for any culture that's out there, for any tribe, any place in the entire world, do you believe that there can be oral history, or do you believe that
Can
when
be.
someone dies,
Someone
the history
can
is
say
done?
this happened, but by definition, oral history is not something that is written down, so we can't prove that it happened. So if you want to just point to
Okay.
something that we don't have and say, "Ooh, hey, this is the evidence for it," that's
There we
that
go.
doesn't make any
All
sense.
right, perfect. So I don't know if you are gamble. I don't know if you play different
Sweet.
things
Just
with
go
odds.
ahead and give me the evidence for Jesus, dude. It's not really that hard.
I'm giving you the evidence. I'm
Okay,
giving you the
give me
evidence. So,
give me the evidence that you think that he actually existed in order to say something.
I got you. So all the people that claim to have seen something, right?
Who?
All the people,
Who?
all the historians
Who?
that.
Give me a name.
Let's talk.
Give me a name.
I don't really know the historians. Like
You don't know
Well, you're
anybody who
trying to
claimed
ask?
to have said something or saw something?
I mean, I haven't done the research yet. I'm just coming from
Okay,
logical.
well, you're using this
perspective
as
right
your
now.
argument. You haven't done any research on it, and you're using it as an argument.
So, what was the explosion of Christianity in the first century? What was
There
that?
is
to you?
no explosion of Christianity in the first century.
So, where did Christianity come from?
The worship of Serapis,
Who's Serapis?
a Greco-Egyptian god that's brought from Sinope and Asia Minor down to Alexandria by Ptolemy I Soter in 300 BCE, and then identified as the god of the Christians by Emperor Hadrian in the 130s.
That can't be true because
is.
why? There's a lot of evidence for John the Baptist, and that's a fact. I know you know that.
No. What's your evidence for John the Baptist?
You're the only historical historian that claims that John the Baptist didn't live.
I didn't say that. You just said there's
All right,
a lot
so
of
John the
evidence, and
Baptist
you
did
can't
live.
name any.
Now, what about Pontius Pilate? There's
Pontius Pilate did exist.
historical evidence
Pontius
about
Pilate
that.
did exist. Give me the evidence for John the Baptist.
Okay, so what's wrong with the Gospels?
PCAM, give me the evidence for John the
The
Baptist.
Gospels.
The Gospels are the evidence for John the
Yes.
Baptist?
Yep.
Okay.
That's my evidence. I know that the historians, the consensus is that he did live. I could go and
So are
research it in
the, are the
2
books
seconds.
are the books of Harry Potter evidence for Ron Weasley?
Those are completely fictional. There's no context.
Yeah, correct.
There's
Just like
no
the countries,
There's no
Gospels.
government.
Yes,
that
there is.
related to
London
that.
is literally mentioned as well as members of Parliament.
Okay, so Pontius Pilate is mentioned in the Gospels.
Sweet. So I guess Harry Potter's just
John
on
the
par with
Baptist is mentioned in the Gospels.
Sweet. So I guess Harry Potter is just as real as the Gospels then.
The time periods add up to the
Okay.
Gospels.
So does Harry Potter.
Now, if you look at the theology of it, right, the Jews, they still celebrate Passover to this day, correct?
All right.
Or is that-
so?
is that not
PCAM, either
history?
give me the evidence for Jesus or Paul, or you're going to get a block because you're really fucking annoying. Do you have any
Dude, I'm
evidence for
trying to
Jesus
give
or
you the
Paul?
evidence. You don't wanna
No, you're
listen.
not. Because
I'm
you
having
haven't
a good
provided any
conversation with
evidence
you,
that
and
it
you're
is
getting
any
mad.
more reliable than Harry Potter.
Okay. Well, I mean, we can't have an intelligent conversation.
Correct, because you're talking
You're
about
not
something
gonna-
stupid and you're trying to say that it's real without any evidence. You're not actually
You
giving
have
any
to
evidence.
go
You're
to the
just kind of
history
repeating
to
things.
see it.
What history?
What have I repeated one time? What have I repeated?
You keep talking about John the Baptist and Pilate, but what evidence do we have of Jesus?
The Passover
The Passover does
and
not have any
the temple
evidence for
getting
Jesus.
destroyed.
No,
He died on Passover.
no. Where's the evidence of this?
That's in the Gospels as well.
Sweet. So in the story, just because the story says something is true,
So why don't Jews sacrifice animals to this day?
there's no temple
I'm coming at you from a theological perspective.
because there's
right
no
now.
temple.
Exactly.
But the temple is destroyed in
Exactly.
70, not in 30. Jesus supposedly
Exactly.
dies in 30.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right. So because Jesus is our Passover lamb, he is the
No,
sacrifice.
if animal sacrifices continued after 30, dipshit.
But yeah, until the temple was destroyed.
Yeah, so I guess
There's
Jesus
no-
didn't actually do anything for a sacrificial lamb. So anyways, do you have
No.
any evidence that Jesus actually died on the Passover, or do you want to catch that block? Which one?
Yeah, the Gospels. The Gospels.
Okay,
and
sweet.
the
How did
temple
you
being
establish that
destroyed.
the Gospels were historically reliable when talking about Jesus dying on the Passover? How did you
The
determine this?
context, the timeline,
context of
the
what?
people named in there,
The context of what?
the context of the time period, the places, the
Like how?
locations,
How?
the oceans, the rivers named.
Okay. Yeah, you don't even have any clue what you're talking about. Get out of here. Tell your mom I said hey. All right. That being said, let's see here. We got Aaron. What's going on, Aaron?
Fuck, it's a dumb day.
Yeah.
And while I'm on here with you, I'm not modding in YouTube, so get your damn bigotry and racism out now. When I get back, I will mute all of it.
Get it all out now. Oh my God.
Yet.
Are you the only one over there?
No. Elizabeth and Vice have been helping out a lot.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, we're good. It's just insanity as always. I just want to say really quickly, that last caller, you mentioned the sulfur stuff at the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
The sulfur and the salt. The thing is, it's the one thing I don't really quibble with Ron Wyatt over, in that those things are there. It's the one thing he pointed to and said it's there, and we're like, yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
But what annoys the fuck out of me with it is that that's where the myth comes from. That's
Yeah.
what makes it an interesting story, is that they saw the sulfur balls
Yeah.
and the salt and were like, hey, we're going to write a story about this. And fucking Christians had to ruin it by saying, no, it really happened.
It's like finding the ruins of Jericho and being like, look, it's collapsed. That means that the story of Joshua marching around it is true. And it's like, no, they came up with that story because they saw rubble. Because by the time they made it to Jericho in the story, it would have already been rubble.
Exactly. It ruins the interesting parts of history so much. It just gets annoying. And they come up here and argue that, hey, that means Jesus.
Yeah, something that I like to point out every once in a while is that because some people ask, why do you enjoy this topic? And I'm like, I enjoy this topic because I like to see, because I understand that it's fake, but I enjoy talking about it and thinking about it and researching it and reading and stuff, because it's interesting to see how humans put together these stories and how they evolve over time. It's more of a study of anthropology than it is religion or something like that. I read the Bible more than your average person and more than your average Christian, that kind of thing. But it's not for a theological purpose at all, or even an anti-theological purpose. It is purely for an anthropological purpose. Like, I want to know the history of people and the evolution of thought. It's really interesting.
If only we could get Amadeus to find it interesting. Well, that's the thing. On YouTube, every like 5 comments is... Every 5 comments is, why do you care? Go after Mormons, not Christians. What's the point? It's like, we keep responding. It's history. We're talking about history. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah.
We're not on the amount of comments. It's interesting. And for
There's some people who talk about World War II all the time. Why? Because it's fun. You can actually just look into that. I mean, I'm not really that into it, but I mean, you can look into it and completely immerse yourself into all the data.
I do quibble with the ones that focus on the Civil War. I have an issue with them.
Like the people who reenacted or whatever?
Yeah, the Southern reenactors, especially when I lived in Indiana, all Southern they never had a Northern Army in the reenactment because they all showed up as the Confederates, and they'd have to fight over who had to play the North.
Yeah. Well, that's because even though the South loses, they are more fun to play because, like, you can you're just like some hillbilly.
Jaron,
what's up? What's going on?
The South didn't lose.
What?
Look at the country. The South just went quiet for a little bit. They didn't lose. They fucked us over.
All right. Well,
it's like the Nazis didn't lose World War II. If they had, it would be different.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I get it.
I know. I'm using hyperbole. I'm joking.
I get it.
But I also think for like a lot of us, like especially you and I who grew up believing this stuff, it's also like, where did our own belief come from? How did it even get to my family? And I don't know.
Yeah,
I just find it fascinating.
that's also interesting. At one point, there was a guy, his name was John Fry. And John Fry, he was a slave who took his master's name over in East Tennessee and set out towards the West, and created his own kind of family, if you will, and his own kind of way, and had children, and they somehow adopted this religion at some point in time. Maybe that was beaten to him as a slave, but as time goes on, you end up with me. And so it's pretty cool to kind of see this evolution of thought, but also the history of your own family and how this religion can kind of seep into them. So it is cool. History is interesting. And if we don't learn, it's interesting, but you also, if you don't learn from it, you're doomed to repeat it. So something that like Matthew and I have talked about a little bit is when we see some of this crazy stuff happening there in like the 2nd century, where people are starting to believe dumb shit and they're starting to make claims, and other people are deceived by this or duped by this and continue on. It's very similar to what we have with like the Trumpism and stuff like that. Like
Trumpism, it's the American myth. It's the George Washington chopping down the cherry tree, the benevolent founding fathers, all of those myths that are solidified in people's minds that, yeah, that's how we got Christianity. When it's not just learning history, it's understanding the lies that we've been told about history. And when we get to the reality, realizing it's continuing to happen.
I think a lot of it isn't even really meant to be like deceptive, but almost just, it's just kind of what we say. Like it just becomes tradition. Like what I bring up for like Acts of Peter, where it talks about he was crucified upside down. That's literally the only book that says it, and it shows up well into like the like the late 2nd century, early 3rd. It's like it's very clearly bullshit. It's got a talking dog in it, but like Christians don't accept the majority of that book. They just accept that one thing because it just seeps into what they think about Christian history. Or just history in general. They're just like, oh yeah, Peter was crucified upside down. Like, and they just kind of say it as if it's history, and it's like, no, that's just from a story. Like, we know where it came from. Like, it's just weird.
It's like the kid you had earlier that was like claiming apostolic succession, then claiming it through Irenaeus and Clement. And like, you called him he was lying because the first time he said something, you told him, show me the evidence, and he continued to make claims without evidence. Right. But the reality is he just heard all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it went into his brain as this is fact, and he never questioned it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You just kind of hear it and assume that it's right because somebody who you trust or you think they did the research. You think that they did.
Yep. Also, I did look into it, and the walls of Jericho were befelled by a queef.
Are you happy about what you did? Do you feel pretty good? Feel pretty good about yourself?
You done messed up, Aaron!
All right. Anyways. By the way, thank you very, very much, Sludge Knuckle. Thank you very, very much for becoming a member. Thank you very, very much for becoming a member of the 35 Second Gang over there on YouTube. That means a lot. Thank you very, very much. Thank you to all subscribers over on TikTok, and thank you to the members over on YouTube. That means a lot to Matthew and I. We are working on this next book, trying to get it out. We're definitely trying to put as much... Well, see, here's part of the problem. You guys, you monsters, you animals, you bastards, wanted... It just... kept escalating there. All right, so you wanted citations, so Matthew is going through and he's putting citations, and so it's you know it's going to be a thick. Do I have a sound for something be thick and being thick? Let's see here.
How about no?
All right, okay, but thank you very, very much for becoming a member there, Sludge Knuckle. And let's see here. Sludge Knuckle also sent $5. Thank you very much. Said in a super chat there on YouTube. And again, on YouTube, if you're in the chat and you want to come up, you can click the link in the chat to come up to TikTok, and that's how I take guests. Or you can send a super chat and I'll respond to it. Sludge Knuckle for $5 said, to the man's point about the Nazis, it's because the Confederacy wasn't dealt with as they should have been. Yeah, to some extent. See, here's the deal. Here's the deal. And we, again, and this kind of to Aaron's point as well, you know, for the founding fathers and everything, even Abraham Lincoln wasn't really that, like, I mean, he was good. Don't get me wrong, he was a good guy. Decent man. He was a decent man. But nevertheless, he had some kind of strange ideas. So he said that if it was up to him, if it could keep the Union together, if it could keep the country together, that he would be fine with keeping slavery. He actually said that. And I mean, so it's not as if he was just like, oh, I'm just an anti-thing. It's just once it became pretty apparent that they were going to win, it was like, okay, let me go ahead and knock this shit out. Like, I think he wanted to get rid of it, or he wanted to do something, but he had even suggested the idea of just putting the black people back onto a boat and sending them back to Africa. That's literally something that was suggested in his cabinet. So, I mean, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's not great. It's definitely not great. He's a man of his time. Absolutely. But here's the deal. We tend to remember these people in ways that kind of make them seem wiser and more stoic and all this kind of stuff. When in reality, I mean, the guy was probably a fucking mess most of the time. I mean, he even had like a fucking seance. I think multiple seances. Him and his wife, Mary Tudling, I think. They're in the White House. They had seances to try to connect with their dead son. Like, that guy's life was rough, and by rough I mean rough. Okay. But yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do to the Confederacy? I mean, other than maybe just like, I don't know, like string up like the generals or something like that, I guess, maybe. I don't know. But other than that, like, what are you going to do? I mean, this is a huge portion of American, not necessarily manufacturing, but like farming and stuff like that, and agriculture. It's part of the economy. They're human beings. These are human beings that fought for something that was dumb, obviously, and something that was very terrible, and shouldn't have been there. But it's illegal now. So what are you going to do with these people? Like, what do you do with them exactly? So I don't know. But there's definitely some ways that they definitely fucked up the Reconstruction. Absolutely fucked it up. They really shouldn't have paid all those people for the land that they ended up taking from them, or not taking, but they ended up buying a bunch of land in order to more or less create slums for the previously enslaved people, which is terrible. They shouldn't have paid for it. They should have just taken it. Should have been part of the condition for surrender. Anyways, that's at least one point that I make. Okay. 5 pounds from Stats 2 or something says, since arguments yield questions, use evidence, examine first principles, logic, epistemology, and scripture equally. Don't read the first letters. What? Say, please. I'm going to copy this into TikTok because they need to see how ridiculous that is. So I'm not going to say it, and I'm also not. You know what? Because there was somebody who mentioned one earlier, I'm going to go ahead and just use that one as the as the extra one. There we go. Anyways, $5 from Easy X Machina says, "How dare you, sir? Abraham Lincoln slayed those vampires so that you wouldn't have to. Good day."
God be praised.
All right. And then €2 there from Indike Kift, who says, I queefed and the walls went down. Oh my God. So that's 3 over there. Oh my god. All right. $2 from Sludge Knuckle says Lincoln could have pulled a John Brown. He could have. He could have just went absolute scorched earth. We're talking like General William Sherman's Georgia barbecue. Absolutely. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Sherman is my hero. Absolutely. So I have made shirts. Matthew and I have made shirts or whatever that we sometimes. But like you have to really understand kind of history in order to like understand it. Well, some of them, like one of our shirts we have, it just says "Forget the Alamo," and then it says 1830 is greater than 1865. Because 1830 is when slavery was abolished in Mexico, but 1865 is when slavery was abolished in America. They were ahead of us. They're not setting their best. Let's see. And then we have a shirt that it literally just has a picture of General Sherman and says Georgia barbecue or whatever. Now available in Lafayette and Calhoun flavors. Anyways, you simply can't beat the earth scorching heat. You and Matt make each other's shirts cute. Yes, we do. That was $1.99 from Hard Work. Thank you very much. Okay. So Sherman should have had monuments everywhere. Oh yeah. Come take your Texas heat back. Oh yeah, you're in fucking Canada. Enjoy that.
Finish him.
Okay. Sherman's neckties kill bullets. Jesus Christ. All right. That's funny. You complete me. All right. If we've got any evidence for Juicer Paul, come on up. I thought we had evidence for Juicer Paul. Maybe. Holes in my shoes burned my skin with every step. Man, Texas isn't that bad. I don't know what's going on. Let me see. What is the temperature near you? It is 86. It is 86, woman. Lady Huggy complaining about 86. What in the world? Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. No. The other day here was 103. 86. Oh, what is 86 in UK? That is 30. It is 30. It is 30. 30 in Celsius. Ah, come on. Psh. Psh. Get out of here. 86 Celsius. Oh, no, get out of there. 101 there in Phoenix. Come on, guys. It's been hotter than in the UK than 30. See, the Phoenix says, I live in Buffalo. I don't know what to do with 87. Well, the opposite is true. Down here, we don't know what to do when the temperature gets below 30. We're just like, do I floor it? What do I do? Do I drive like an idiot? Do I run to the store as much as possible and get all the milk, eggs, and toilet paper? I don't know what's going on. This is the snowpocalypse. And it's not even like snowing or anything. It's just fucking cold. Like, no. It's dumb. It's dumb. But, nah. I don't mind the cold, but also don't mind the heat. Weather doesn't really bother me too much. -15. That would be 5. It'd be 5 Fahrenheit. So, yeah. I mean, it's definitely cold. It's just not fun. It's not the worst, but it's because you have air conditioning. Yeah. Leave it to Texas to plan ahead. You guys didn't plan for global warming? Neither did we. Sludge Knuckle $2 says, if you think host and company are wrong, get the book. Yep. We do have a book on the topic. Christ Before Jesus, $3 for the ebook. Go check it out if you want.
I like turtles.
Yeah. Under 230 people restart. Nah, I'll probably go ahead and just end it here. I don't think that we can. Nah, we don't need a restart. We'll just end it here. I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll have a good time. Yeah, when the Texas power grid works. Yeah, exactly. All right. It was a pretty good day. Yeah. We'll just hold off. We'll just wait. Yeah. All right. But thank you very much to anybody and everybody who stuck around longer than 30 seconds. 35-second gang, rise up. And thank you to the people who have joined the 35-second gang, either on TikTok through subscribing or YouTube by becoming a member. Thank you very, very much. I will see you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scout. Put me down for some Thin Mints. I will catch you guys tomorrow. I'll be live about 9:30 or so. Oh, wait, hold up. Is there somebody who's coming up here? Maybe they're getting mad at us. I don't know. What's going on there? Elron Damoncedo.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
I just wanted, right before you leave, I just kind of wanted to bring up some evidence that I've been kind of looking up on.
For Jesus or Paul?
Yeah.
Okay.
Historical evidence from Josephus.
Yeah, sure about that, Buckaroo?
Josephus? Yeah.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Who was that? Anyways. Oh, my God.
Nice.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
All right. Well, yeah. And then $2. Maybe it was the squeefies we made along the way. 24 times today. Ridiculous. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, Girl Scout. We'll be down for some Thin Mints.